Hey, friends out there. This is Thursday, July 6th, 2023. And it's just about 6:27 in the morning, 5:27 in the morning here in Northern California. And as usual, I'm going to talk about a few things today. And I hope everybody's doing as well as they can in a crazy ass world run by maniacal, money loving madmen bent on misery for masses, my friends. That's right. The term oppression, it sounds archaic and it sounds like it could never happen in America, the land of the free, right? But indeed, that's exactly what's going on, friends. That's what inflation is, man. It's all about a tax on the poor. Do you understand? I want everybody to know straight up who is paying the taxes. I mean, how is that we're creating more and more multi-billionaires, multi-millionaires, and all the politicians, the leaders, check into it. The vast majority of them, Senate, Congress, executive, are all multimillionaires many times over with close friends like family, mafia in industries like the money lending industry. That's an industry we all ought to say, no, we all want to be in that industry. Every single American. We're all money lenders, so who are going to be your borrowers? I want everybody to know who's paying this national debt, this $32 trillion. It's you. If you're a taxpayer, it's you. If you're just a regular, everyday American citizen, it's you. If you're poor, it's you. People say, what do you mean if it's the poor? They're on welfare. They're getting food stamps and Section 8. What? And all that money does is make the problem worse. It goes in the pockets of fat cats. It subsidizes the grocery, the food industry, big time, right? What would they do without all the EBT, right? The food stamps. Across this nation, prices would plummet. Otherwise, you'd have starving people. You think shoplifting is bad now? You haven't seen nothing yet. So prices at the grocery store would plummet if they took away food stamps. And housing prices would plummet if you took away that Section 8 housing, that $50 billion a year. And I'm not talking out my ear or any other orifice of my body, okay? I happen to be well learned in this industry. I know how the schemes work. I mentioned, hey, if we're all money lenders, who's going to be the borrower, right? Well, if we're all landlords, who's going to be our tenant? You understand how the scam works? It's about keeping you down. That's oppression. You understand? They've got to subjugate a lot of people. And in history, we all know about slavery, okay? But that hasn't gone away, okay? It has not. They've normalized it. This is how the scam works. They've got to keep huge swaths of the population poor for no valid, no logical, no intellectual, no good reason. It's pure evil. They think they're so smart. They think they're smarter than you. Are they smarter than you? Do you think they're smarter than me? I know they're not. They're evil. These are people that would sell. They're living outside the golden rule. They're not living their life. They're not treating others the way they would treat their own children or themselves or anyone else that they really care about. Their family, the syndicate, the mafia. That's what it's like for these people. They're elitists. By default position, the vast majority of these leaders are out of touch with the people. They don't care. They have to divorce themselves to live with themselves. They rationalize in their own delusional minds, their self-deceived hearts, to say somehow it all makes sense and somehow we're progressing as a nation. We've been doing nothing but going down the tubes. I'm an eyewitness, and I can tell you from overwhelming empirical evidence, just from paying attention, for the last 1963, I could tell you, I've been paying attention since I was a little boy. That's 60 years, isn't it? 60 years. 1963, 60 years ago this year, when JFK was assassinated, who was in the progress, busily getting rid of the Federal Reserve. We didn't need them for nothing. He was already issuing a new currency, sound money, the silver note. Looked just about like a dollar. I bought one on eBay for three something, called a silver certificate. Instead of saying Federal Reserve at the top, which is a private, public, or government entity, which is sick. No private interest should be involved in the issuance of our currency. None at all. No way. I mean, you talk about an ulterior motive to just blah, 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 blah. To just, ugh. I mean, you know, like I said, look, they're not that smart. They've sold their souls. They've sold their conscience. They're living outside the golden rule. They're not treating the American people the way they would treat their own family or themselves. They don't want that. They don't want to be oppressed, taken advantage of because you work on a farm or you work on a factory or you do one of countless other jobs out there that are paid substandard wages. They're not paid a living wage whereby you can get ahead, whereby you can become a homeowner and you could be financially secure, where you could be financially free, where you could be financially prosperous. Do you understand how the scam works? So we can be very clear. Take this to our precious leaders and tell them, no more scam. Stop it. It's all about debasing your money. This is how the scam works. They're not trying to lower wages. Well, we're giving more money. You see what people at McDonald's is, they're paying $16 a start and free meals. Can you afford to be a homeowner on that? Can you drive a nice car? Can your wife stay home and take care of the family? That's the America I remember as a little boy. Matter of fact. Anywhere in this nation you wanted to buy a house, you could do it on minimum wage income. And if you were getting any more than that because you were a skilled tradesman of any sort, you had any kind of skill at all, you could live an upper middle class lifestyle. Money to burn. That's the America I remember. And these politicians, these leaders want to call this progress. I got news for them. This is BS. Not progress. It's regression. It sucks. It's sick. It's perverted. It's twisted. It's wrong. It's immoral. It's evil. It's ungodly. It's un-American. It's unconstitutional. It's inhuman. They're monsters. I'm telling you, if you could see the faces behind it, you know, once they've sold their souls, what do you think they look like? They're blobs of... Ugh. What are they? I mean, if you could just take away their pretty faces, man, you know, who are the talking heads out there, and you see the blob that they really are. They've forsaken, they've subdued, and they've at least compromised their souls. And there's multitudes of minions that are following in their paths because, well, they're on top. They're the leaders. They're running the show, and, you know, it's hard to fight the, you know, City Hall and all that kind of thinking, right? So I just, you know... You can be uptight and stressed out, and you can just be all outspoken and whatever, because you're American. I know you have the right to free speech and all that crap. But as for me, I'm going to stay calm and peaceful and just say, hey, you know, somehow it all makes sense. It's just, you know, this is Darwinism. Maybe it's you know, survival of the toughest, strongest. Really, it's the meanest. Those that are ready first to step on toes if necessary and cut throats if necessary and just say, you know what, I don't care. If this comes down to, you know, whatever it comes down to and people got to start dying in mass, as long as me and my family are okay, I can't worry about it. I mean, were you just too poor? I mean, did you become a liability on society because you were on welfare? You couldn't take care of yourself? You can't cut the mustard anymore? You can't crack the nut anymore? Then you know what? We don't need you. Okay, anytime we want, we could ship in young, strong immigrants because America's screwing it up all over the world. Whenever we debase our money, because we're the most influential nation on earth, we have the world reserve currency. We're leading the way to screw it up everywhere else. You see how this thing, in their sick, twisted minds, they think this can go on in perpetuity. So the only one that's got to get upset here and put their foot down here is the Creator God Almighty, literally. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to be our relief because I'm big time. Everybody that knows me, heard anything I have to say, knows I'm nonviolent all the way, baby. No, this is like a spring being pulled back. This is an entirely different era in history because previously in history, you can look it up yourself. Whenever the oppression got too bad, the hopelessness of getting ahead and having a sense of security, having a sense of freedom, having a sense of prosperity, when you took that away too much from too many people, there was a bloody revolution. Indeed, that's a fact. And that's why these people are spooked now. They've been expecting this for decades. They can't believe their lucky stars, how far they've gotten. They've flourished in the land, these evil people, and their multitudes of minions in your local communities that just go along with the scam. Remember this, all landlords in my local community, hey, we all want to be landlords, okay? Now, who's going to be our tenant? Maybe your kids. Maybe you did. Maybe you brought up children to be rent slaves. I got a daughter in San Diego paying $2,500 a month for some crappy little apartment. She doesn't mind. She's making 80 grand a month as an English teacher, high school English teacher down there. So hey, it's only what, a third of her income or so. Sick, man. What this country's come to is sick. It's perverted. I'm disgusted. And I just hope God is too, because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling God's pissed. And all we have to do is restrain ourselves. Just say, God, into your hands, I commit, we need relief. And I want you to give relief to those that are hemorrhaging out, that are not only suffering needlessly out on the streets,